Hello, I'm Pastor Joe, and I want to welcome you to Impacts. Impacts is a video teaching series where I try to help nurture your faith in, your commitment to, and your relationship with Jesus Christ. You know, just a week or so ago, we celebrated Easter. And it has often been said that the two biggest days in the life of the church are Easter and Christmas. Now, if you were to ask me in any given year when Christmas is, I could answer that question without even hesitating. December 25th. I can hardly have to think about it. But if you ask me when Easter is, I'm going to have to pull out my phone and Google it, or I'm going to have a calendar. It just seems that Easter is all over the map, and I can never remember when it is. So I want to talk with you today a little bit about why the date of Easter changes and what kind of the formula is for setting that date. So come on, let's get started. Have you ever had the thought that somewhere in the world, in a dark room on the back of some building, there's a man pulling dates out of a hat and assigning Easter based on what he pulls out? You know, sometimes it really is hard to make sense of why Easter is when it is. The date changes from year to year. And for me, the easiest way to figure out when it is to Google it or to find a calendar. And sure, those will tell me when Easter is, but it really doesn't give me a clue or an idea of how that date is set. Now, way back in 325, Emperor Constantine called together the Council of Nicaea. Now, the Council of Nicaea was a gathering of bishops and church leaders, and they were charged with trying to settle some differences in the church. One of the things they were to do was to define the nature and the character of God. And the hope was that by defining the nature and the character of God, they could settle some disputes in the church and bring a sense of unity and peace to the church, not just the Catholic Church, but the whole church. But another thing that they did was to decide on the date, to set the date for Easter. Now, the Council of Nicaea didn't set Easter on a particular day, but they set when it would occur. And what they decided was it would occur on the first Sunday following the first full moon after the Vernal Equinox. Now, the Vernal Equinox is also known as the March Equinox, and it falls on March 19th, 20th, or 21st. Now, equinox comes from a Latin word, it's actually two words that mean night and equal. And so on the vernal equinox, March 19th, 20th, or 21st, virtually everyone in the world experiences equal amounts of daylight and nighttime. Now, I said that it occurs on the Sunday following the first full moon after the equinox. What is significant about the first full moon? Well, the first full moon after the equinox is when they consider Passover, the Jewish Passover, to have occurred. And remember, that was the night that Jesus and his disciples had the Last Supper. So Easter falls on the Sunday after the celebration of the Passover, which occurs the first full moon after the vernal equinox. Now, my challenge to you is just kind of wrap your head around that, to understand that Easter is set based on when the full moon falls after the vernal equinox, and then it's that next Sunday. If you're like me, you don't know when the first full moon is going to be, but at least you have an idea of when it is. So I hope that will give you some understanding of it. So from year to year, when somebody asks that, you can at least give them an answer to that question. Well, look, I hope this is helpful, and I hope that you will join me next week for the next installment of the Impact video. If you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. When you subscribe, you can also click on the notification icon, and then whenever I post a new video, you'll get notified about that. Until we get together again next week, may God's blessings be with you.